personal. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I wanted to get my take on some things on the Top Rank card because there were a couple big names, two in particular, two big young rising stars who I wanted to speak about and just get my little take on those guys out there. First and foremost, you got Jared Anderson, right? Now, Jared Anderson, the last American heavyweight hope, good fighter, rising young contender in the heavyweight division. He was taking on George Arias, and he beat the shit out of George Arias. And to be truthfully honest, I mean, I thought the fight was going to be good for him as far as maybe getting him a guy who's more elusive in there. But ultimately, I always thought it was a bit of a mismatch. And Jared Anderson beat the dog shit out of George Arias. He got him out of there in like 3 rounds, beat him to a bloody pulp. And let's get into that point now, okay? Because we've seen Jared Anderson a lot. The hype is starting to get, it's starting to get up there. And to be honest with you, for me, it's getting a bit unbearable because they're comparing this guy to Riddick freaking Bowe. And that's where, I really draw the line because he is not Riddick Bowe. I don't like when they say that. It pisses me off because he's not as good as Riddick Bowe. But Jared Anderson is a very talented fighter. I think he's ready for top contenders. I think he's ready to fight a live body because let's call a spade a spade. He ain't fought one live body yet in the pro ranks. Not one. He's fighting these dudes from Bosnia and Serbia, and they don't even got boxing in some of these countries that his opponent's coming from. So, there's that, and then you got also the fact that, Jerry Forrest is a good fighter, but when you factor in what happened to Jerry Forrest in the Hunter fight, in the Pulev fight before, we already knew that Jerry Forrest had given the best of himself and that there was a reason Top Rank picked him at that particular time for with Jared Anderson. It wasn't like Jared fought the Jerry Forrest that fought Hunter or the Jerry Forrest that fought Zhang. So factor that in. He had already fought Zhang and Hunter. He'd already been through the wars in those fights. So it's a good win because of who Jerry Forrest is, but I didn't consider Jerry Forrest to be much of a live body. So I want to listen. Before we start crowning Jared Anderson the next American heavyweight champion and all these things, because the Jerry's very out on that for me. Probably with him more than most Top Rank prospects. Let's please let him get him in there with a live body, please. Like anybody, just anybody. It's just someone that's gonna come to win, because anybody who watched the press conference, if you just watched the press conference, George Arias didn't have the body language at all of someone who thought he was gonna win the fight or could win the fight. He went in there, he was handpicked, talented, good record on paper, beating a couple, top 75-ish heavyweights, but a club fighter, a New York City domestic level club fighter who didn't have the amateur pedigree to offset what Anderson had skill wise, So the fight went how I thought it would go, and I just get him in there with somebody, man, because it's pissing me off. You can't call this guy no killer, and he ain't even fought like a live body. He ain't fought one guy yet who really came to win, not at all. So hopefully that happens for him. Because I think he's a good fighter. I think he seems like a cool guy. It's just, he's getting to that point for me where you can see the talent, you can see the growth, you can see the skills. But then you look at the heavyweight division, you got guys like Hrgovic, Zhang, Joe Joyce, Joseph Parker. You got guys in the Top Rank stable, like Arslanbek Makhmudov. Make that fight happen. Why not make him fight Arslanbek Makhmudov? Just fight someone that you, when a fight is signed, and I look on the card and I see Jared Anderson versus whoever, I can say to myself, damn, okay, that's a good fight, that's a proper fight. He hasn't had one of those yet. He hasn't had one of those. Keyshawn Davis hasn't had one of those. All these guys on Top Rank, and I like Top Rank. I'm a fan of how they run their business, but all these fighters that they're developing, and they do a great job at developing fighters. None of them who are garnering all this hype, and we'll talk about Keyshawn Davis in a second, but none of them that are garnering all this hype really fought with anybody that truthfully came to win or had the tools to actually threaten them. And I understand fighter development. I understand they're not trying to get these guys beat, so they're gonna find fighters, opponents that can present some stylistic challenges for them, but that don't have the skills ultimately at the end of the day to beat them and get over the hump. They're looking for those kind of fighters. That's matchmaking 101. But like I said, if you're going to crown this guy the next American heavyweight champion, if you're going to say, oh, well, he's the next Riddick Bowe and he's this and he's that, and I got to listen to people say he would beat guys in the top 10 like Philip Hergovich and Joe Joyce and this, that, and the third. Well, why don't you put him in there with somebody who's decent? Put him in there. Put him in there with Michael Hunter. Go get Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter would be a good fight. Arsenbek Mahmoudov would be a good fight. Antonio Miedeles, who signed a top ring, would be a good fight. There's a lot of decent fighters out there for Jared Anderson. I'm just getting sick of the protective matchmaking. It's just getting annoying. That's why like this year, you gotta give credit where credit is due. Like I've criticized Al Heyman plenty in the past, plenty. But the reality is, like, PBC and Showtime have been giving us the best schedule. Now, you can speculate as to why that is. You can say they're going broke. You can say they have to. It's like a garage sale, whatever the case may be. The reality is I'm a boxing fan, so I want to turn on the TV for fights that I'm going to enjoy. And pretty much, for the most part, every PBC show has been enjoyable. They've been good. They've been good matchups with good main events. Top Rank shows have been glorified club shows. I might as well just go back home and go to an MNR boxing promotion show. I might as well go check out my boy Henry Volta down there in South Florida and see what he's doing. So hopefully Top Rank revs it up as the year goes on, because it's just getting ridiculous. But yeah, that's my take on Jared Anderson. Now, as far as switching gears, Keyshawn Davis, he fought Anthony Yigit. Anthony Yigit's a former Olympian. Anthony Yigit's a guy that southpaw, awkward style. Been in there with Rolly Romero as a common opponent. Well, not common opponent, but I'm saying a common guy at 135 that, is a young 35-pounder like Keyshawn is. But now he's a 40-pounder, I should say. But, someone that he had somebody that fought Yigit that he could measure himself against, right? Yigit, I thought was game. I thought he was someone that, wasn't there to lay down. I thought Yigit did what he could. Within his skill set, he did what he could. I thought there were times where he made Keyshawn look pedestrian. I thought there were times where he made Keyshawn look not his best. I think Keyshawn took a little bit too long to get him out of there, but ultimately he got him out of there. At the end of the day, I can't complain about, if a fighter gets a stoppage, he gets a stoppage. Like, I can't say, well, he got him out of there too late. Because sometimes it may look one way from the outside, but, then you get in the ring, and then an opponent is more difficult. He's more tricky than you think he is. So that could be the case there. But Anthony Yigit's the kind of fighter that it's good for Keyshawn Davis less than 10 fights into his career to be fighting, because Yigit has experience. Yigit knows how to survive. Yigit's a decent fighter. And Keyshawn Davis was saying he was going to knock him out in 3. He didn't knock him out in 3, and he didn't do as good against him as Rolly Romero did. Rolly Romero beat the shit out of Anthony Yigit, stopped him like in, was it 7 rounds? I think Keyshawn got him out of there in 9 and landed a nice little body shot at the end. And it is what it is. He got the win. But jury's on him too. Like, all of them. All the top-ranked prospects. The jury's on all of them. Even the ones I like. Like, I like Abdullah Mason. I think he's sensational. But, like, the jury's on him too. Like, they have some work to do. Like, a lot of these prospects. And Keyshawn's calling out Frank Martin and these kind of guys. Listen, he better just stay right where he's at. I respect the ambition. I hope that it'd be nice if they could make one of these fights happen. But odds are, for a cross-promotional fight between two prospects, the money more than likely won't be what the promoters want to make that fight happen. That's just reality. So I would like to see Frank Martin fight Keyshawn Davis, because, Keyshawn Davis, we know he's not going to fight Shakur because they're like Patrick and SpongeBob. They're like best friends. So that's probably not going to happen. But all in all, good performance for him. I hope Top Rank steps him up some more. Anthony Yigit was a nice little step up. I would like to see him fight somebody in the top 15. I don't got it in front of me, but maybe he could fight an Emmanuel Ortega or someone like that, or someone higher than that, because he needs step ups. We can clearly see that Keyshawn Davis isn't like most prospects. He's definitely got a high skill level, and we don't need to make him, regress or plateau as a fighter by giving him like these whack ass matchups. So let's give him some good matchups. Let's step him up, and let's see. Like, he's still at 7-0, 8-0 now. So like, I'm thinking about like fight 12 or fight 13. I want to see Keyshawn Davis be ready for a world title shot or fighting for a world title by his 12th or 13th fight, because I think he's that good. And he showed it in this fight, and he showed it in a lot of his other fights. But maybe even him versus Floyd Schofield. If we're talking about young fighters fighting each other, make him versus Floyd Schofield. That'd be a good fight. Floyd Schofield wants to fight all these guys. Floyd Schofield has been adamant calling these guys out, and I think he would oblige. So we'll see what happens. But he did what he needed to do against Yigit. So that's my thoughts on Jared Anderson, who is a good fighter, but you know he's getting to that point now where if they don't step him up and he's just knocking out these cans, he's gonna have to start getting criticized, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, and Keyshawn Davis as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time,
thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.